So motherfuckers, in this new video of opening tricks, I'm going to show us a very interesting idea of Frederick Spain against Eddie Gurel in the World Cup against the Caro-Kann defense. So let's analyze the game. Okay, Frederick open with e4, c6. This is the Caro-Kann defense. c6 followed by d5. Now I have many ways to play, but he select the two knight variation. Okay, now the other main move of black was bishop d4, but okay, d takes was normal. Knight takes, knight f6. Now queen e2, better than take on f6. Until here everything is completely normal. Knight takes, queen takes. Nowadays knight a6 is a fashion move, but okay, knight d7, bishop c4, knight f6. Now important, black is threatening the queen, but we're going to keep the queen on e4 and threat checkmate with knight e5. Now then I cannot take because bishop f7 is checkmate. So e6, and now the main move here was queen e2. There are many games with queen e2. Let's see, there are like more than 1,000 games with queen e2. And okay, it's not a bad move, but the problem is that okay, if black plays normal, now with white we're going to play short castle, d4, and for example, if bishop d6, now for example d4, short castle, and white is completely fine here. The problem of this move queen e2 is b5. It's a very good move. Bishop d3 and bishop d6. This pawn sacrifice. Knight c6, queen c7. For example, knight d4 attacking the pawn, a6, knight f5, taking the bishop pair. But black have many counterplay for the pawn in this position because this bishop is still undeveloped, and black have so many. Listen, the black pieces are so active, and the c1 bishop is undeveloped. So the machine say that white is slightly better here, but okay, of course this is completely playable, but this is not my favorite way to play against the Galcan. So for that reason, I really like the move played by Frederick Spain, who was queen f4. That's a very interesting move. We have a very interesting ideas. A queen f4, there is not so much employed. Let's see in this position, there are like more than 1,000 games with queen e2 and only 65 games with queen f4. So this move, of course, is going to surprise your opponents. Okay, if your opponent watched this video, no. But if not, this move is going to surprise your opponent. So queen f4, I'm going to recommend this move. And now black have like two ways to play, or with bishop d6 or with b5 are the most normal. B5 was the favorite of the machine. Now we should go back with the bishop and bishop d6. Now d4, short castle. And here we have two ways to play, or queen h4 followed by bishop g5. For example, c5, a4, b takes bishop g5 was fine. Or queen g3 and queen e3 here. That's why we could play after b5 with bishop e2, d4, and then develop the dark square bishop. But okay, could have played bishop d6, which is a completely normal move, just developing the pieces. And now bishop d6, d4, defending the knight, sword castle. And here, black should react fast in the center with c5. Black here should react fast if he wants to try to equal the game. So after c5, we just should take, and now just rook e1 or bishop d3, and later rook e1 of course. But okay, white is slightly better because this bishop is still bad place on c8. So I have some initiative here with this bishop attacking the king side. Now the rooks are coming to the center. So I think that white here has some, yes, a small advantage. But after queen c7, bad move by Gurel. Now after bishop d3, white is better in this position. That's why I really like the move queen f4. Because after, okay, of course, after queen e2, your opponent is going to know the theory. But queen f4 is a good surprise. But apart, I think that it's easy yes, easy for black to end in a bad position because the moves played by Edith Curren are so normal. Bishop d6, sword castle, and queen c7 are three completely normal moves. And after that three moves, white is fine. So I really like the idea of queen f4. Now bishop d3, very good move of Spain. Now the bishop is not making nothing here. The bishop makes his purpose, who is provoke e6, and now the bishop is going to be trapped on c8. So now the bishop return to d3 to attack the king side. Sorry, the king side. Now finally Gurel break with d5. but now it's a little bit untimely. Yes, untimely. Yes, was stronger to play knight d5, queen h4, and here f5. Well, of course, it's a strange defense because you are opening your king, and apart the a5 square is going to be better, and the e6 pawn is weak. So this is a strange defense by black, but this is the best according to the machine. Rook e1, and now just play the rooks into the center. But okay, Gurel played c5, but this is not. There are no time to play c5. The correct time was here. Queen c7, a small loss of tempo, bishop d3, c5, and now very good move of Frederick, queen h4. All the game, Frederick play yes, like a perfect game. I'm not going to comment so much his game because his move because he played very good. Oh, okay, close to the end. In the end, he started to fail a little bit, but the first 33 moves he played perfectly. So bishop takes. Black, yes, black finally give the bishop pair because if not, now like some moves like knight g4 or bishop g5 are coming, and this pawn is so weak. So here black should take the pawn, and okay, now we see that white have sacrificed a pawn, but white have a strong counterplay because thanks the bishop pair, and the c8 bishop is very bad. The all the dark squares are weak, so white have a huge counterplay for the pawn. Bishop f4. Here, queen b2 is not possible. Just rook e1 followed by bishop e5, bishop f6, and queen h7 checkmate. So queen h5, and now Frederick stopped the attack, and he just transferred to a endgame with the bishop pair, who he have a great advantage. Takes bishop d6, rook d8, bishop c5. Now he's endgame with the bishop pair, but apart this bishop is undeveloped. This knight is in the corner, so and the two white bishops are very good. And apart, another thing that I say once in talking about the endgames with the bishop pair is that the no symmetrical position, no symmetrical pawn structure benefit the bishop. If the pawn structure are more or less symmetrical, this benefit the player who have the knight. But the majorities in each sides benefits the bishops because he play better in open positions and with disequilibrium and in pawn race, the pawn in pawn races the bishops are so much better than the knight. Okay, f5, rook fd1, here, rook e8 was stronger because with black, the problem is that you have the a8 rook can develop, and white can develop both rooks. So with the move rook d1, you are not trading the d8 rook for the d1 rook. You are trading the d8 rook for the a1 rook. And now I am going to keep over the board the a8 bishop, the a8 rook with undeveloped, and the c8 bishop with undeveloped too. So yes, you just should try to keep the only piece that you have developed with the rooks and play rookie. Okay, you could have a specific idea of entering a opposite color, um, opposite color bishop endgame, but now in this specific endgame, white is just winning. Bishop a6, king here, black should give the pawn, and now the endgame is completely winning for white. But of course, it's not so easy. Here king d2 was stronger, just avoiding e5. The problem is that after f3 and now e5, very good move by Gurel. Now the position is not so easy for Spain. Yeah, so um, king d2 was stronger, just avoiding e5, f3 a little bit bad move, e5, and again was stronger king d2 to can play f4. But okay, h4, but not the best move, bishop e6. And now after this some moves, now we're going to go to the most important position of the game. Okay, bishop c2, rook b5. Okay, and I want to stop in this moment. Here the machine say that white is winning with the move h6, fixing the pawn on h7, and black is going to suffer so much trying to defend this pawn. It's not easy, of course, to defend this pawn. But I don't know why this player doesn't play e6. And now white could have a clear plan to take the pawn. It's a long plan, but okay, we're going to make this plan is black start to defend, but bishop g7, rook a8, rook h8, and take the pawn. Okay, it's not obligated, but there could be a possible plan. But in general, the h7 pawn is going to be so weak in this position. So h6 looks like the natural move, but Frederick doesn't understand that, and he plays bishop c3. And Eric Gurel, again, he doesn't understand that he should avoid h6 and he should take the pawn. So he plays bishop c2. And this the same thing happened for the next three moves. Again, Spain should play h6, he doesn't play. Um, Gurel, he should take on h5, he doesn't take. Again, a6, no, doesn't play. He should take it, doesn't play. The same, the same, the same, the same. And finally, like on the at the fifth try, after four moves making bad moves, finally Frederick understand that he should play a6 and he win the game more or less. No, the rest is not completely easy, but okay, we saw that he's making our plan, play the rook on h8, and in the right moment, we can play bishop g5 to g5. Here he made king d5, who is not good. Here was stronger. King g3. The problem of king g5 is that here we will have the result of h3, b takes, and rook f3. And the machine say that here black can defend. Rook c7, rook e8, king f7, rook e3. But okay, until here, white cannot manage to take the h7 pawn. But we saw that it's going to be weak for all the life. And here the last opportunity of Ace Gurel was a3 to defend the endgame. Looks so natural this move. I don't understand why he doesn't play a3 because just looks completely yes looks the normal move of the position. I don't really understand why he doesn't play a3. Being true, but okay, being honest, sorry. But okay, after bishop e3, finally white managed to break there with f5, bishop f4. Now the rook is coming to e7, and he finally yes. Now we're seeing the ideas of the move h6 and why the pawn on h6 is so strong because yes, the in general the pawn on h6 is a completely beast. So finally Spain managed to okay. The idea of h2 doesn't work because we can take and checkmate again thanks to the h6 pawn. So very important to keep this pawn over the board. So very good game of Frederick Spain, especially the opening. I really like how he played the opening. Then the endgame he made some mistakes in the opposite color bishop endgame. But the first part of the game, I really like what he played, and I think that you can copy that in your games and start to employ this idea of queen f4 in your own games. I really like. I'm going to show us less fast. It's the two knights variation. It takes 94. Now queen e2, recapture. Now he came with knight f6, so but first we're going to attack the f7 pawn, provoke f6. Now the c8 bishop is closed, and now we're going to go with the queen back to f4, followed by short castle, d4, and then place the bishop on d3 to attack the black king. So very good game of Spain who advanced to the next round, so let's see how continue the tournament. Bye bye motherfuckers.